Okay, and we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Have some very, very big Manchester United news tonight. And of course, as we all know, Sheikh Jassim and the Qatari bid, they have pulled out of the race to buy Manchester United. It is what I would call a doomsday scenario. Not because we want to see state ownership of Manchester United, not because we need that of Manchester United to succeed, but right now, Manchester United, it's either going to be the Glazer family staying in charge, or it's going to be minority investment coming in from Jim Ratcliffe. This is what we've wanted to avoid for the last 12 months. This is what we have feared. This is now reality. The Qataris have pulled out. They went in with a new bid. They went in with a bid of £5.5 billion, plus the debt wiped out, plus £1.5 billion pledged investment in players and in the stadium. The greed of the Glazer family truly knows no bounds. This was an improved bid made by the Qataris. They pulled out. Look, I don't blame them for one single second in all this. And look, people are going to point fingers. People are going to say, was the Qatari bid ever serious? I think it was, and I think they really wanted the club. Do I think that they would have been guaranteed good owners? No. Do I think they would have been better than the Glazer family? Absolutely, I do. And now, no matter what way this takeover goes, that's what we're stuck with. That's what we have now. The Glazer family believe they can get £10 billion for Manchester United. That's what they believe the club will be worth in 2 to 3 years. I mean, the greed on display, the greed from these owners, from this ownership, from the top to the bottom, it is genuinely a mess. Look, I got the guys down in the comments. Scott's down there, good to see you, man. Looks like you're off to support Wrexham. Lacanio's down there, extremely disappointed, but I understand why they pulled out. Yeah, look, I'm disappointed as well. I'm asking you guys on the poll as well. What's the thoughts on this? What's the feelings? Let me know down below on this one. But this is not what we wanted as a fan base. This is not where we wanted to be sitting 12 months after the initial Manchester United sale announcements. And look, it was first broke by Fabrizio Romano. Sheikh Jassim presented a fully cash bid, clearing all the debt, 100% of the club. The teams declined to comment on the news, citing confidentiality restrictions, but have confirmed they have withdrawn. And look, it's a public withdrawal, and that means they're out. So they've lost. And that means Jim Ratcliffe will now be buying into Manchester United, 25% for £1.5 billion. Jarl is down there. It's a sad day to be a United fan for sure. Liman says Jim should have given it the full 6 billion plus 1 billion for debt, 1.5 for club investment. The bid failed for 500 million. It is sad. Yeah, absolutely. Scott says, I heard it was only reported, no statement from Qatar yet. Yeah, look, there's no official statement, but this is the scenario. This is what I call a doomsday scenario for sure. And everybody has confirmed it. Every major news outlet, BBC, Sky, Simon Stone, Romano, David Ornstein, Athletic, everybody has come out with this news pretty much simultaneously. I don't think it's going to happen at all, guys. I really don't. Ashid's down there. The Qataris actually wanted the club. The current owners got greedy big time. Yeah, it comes down to greed. It is unbelievable greed. They're looking £10 billion for Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years. I don't know where they're going to get this money from. This club has been dying for the last 20 years, and now they're expecting to get even more out of the golden cow. It's so frustrating. Look, we can see from Mike Keegan, quotes coming in. Sheikh Jassim and his team believe they would have been dream owners of Manchester United. They are saddened by how it has played out. I don't blame them for 1 second. I really, really don't. It was around 5.5 billion. Could they have come in with more money up front? Maybe they should have, but it's off the table now. No matter what happens, the Qataris will not be owning Manchester United. And we have sat in this loop, we have sat in this state of play for the last 12 months, and certainly since the last Qatari bid went in June, we thought it was done. We thought it would be over. And now the Glazers are left with this here. Great, Jason's down there. Always negative news during the international break. On the bright side, the takeover saga is over. Yeah, look, I'm on one hand, I'm glad that it's over. I'm very, very happy that at least we know what's happening. Well, not happy, but relieved, maybe. But it does just go to show you, even if Manchester United are not playing a match, they're equally as capable of ruining people's weekend. So that's where we find ourselves on this fine Saturday night. Drop a like on the video, guys. We're up to 23 votes on the poll as well. Ronnie down there, what could happen if the good people of Manchester who live there and go to most of the games disrupt every home game at Old Trafford? I don't know. They'll probably move the matches somewhere else. Um, if there's a lot of ifs, but maybe Big T's down there blessing the skies if true. Show must go on. Yeah, look, I think the takeover saga as a whole has really caused a lot of disruption at the club, a lot of instability. I guess now we know where we stand, and if that's worth anything, it's going to be down to what Jim Radcliffe can do as an owner now, and it will be 25% of the Glazer family shares. So we're going to find out what's going to happen next. We are sitting now with a clearer path as to what's going to happen in the future. Luman says life goes on. Yeah, look, I just really feel like this was the moment for the Glazer family to be removed from Manchester United in their entirety, completely and utterly gone from the football club. But unfortunately, that's not where we find ourselves, guys. We find ourselves now with the Glazer family going to be hanging on. They're going to be staying in control of Manchester United. There will be minority investment from Radcliffe. They will eventually try to buy over the club in its entirety. Manchester United, look, I will say this absolutely. United do not need a sugar daddy. We do not need someone to come in with billions of pounds to artificially inflate the books to get us to do what they're doing at Newcastle or what they've done at Man City. We don't need that. We have that money. We have that commercial appeal. We have that revenue. What we don't have is good ownership. And I don't think we ever will. Scott's down there. Look what he wanted to do. Barcelona, if he got some of the money, it's not good. Jarl says as well, I'm most likely walking away from Manchester United. I cannot sit and see the club rot for the next 20 years. Yeah, look, where does this leave us as a fan base as well? Do I think Qatar will buy another club, says Liman. I did see the Inter Milan rumours yesterday. Maybe that's what happens as well. Apologies, guys, as well for my voice. I have not been able to speak for the last 2 days. I have not left my bed. I've had flu. I've had a sinus infection. I've been really ill. So we're going to try our best to get through this. But I feel it's important that we're on here talking about this as well, because such a frustration. And we have wanted for almost 20 years now the Glazer family not to be at Manchester United, for them not to be the ownership. I guess if Radcliffe eventually buys them over, that's better than having the Glazers full time. It's better than nothing. I don't know. I really don't know what is best at this moment in time. Big T's down there. Jim wants to end up full owners. It's happening. Staggered is better than not happening at all. I actually remember the base being happy about Jim before Qatar came along. Yeah, look, I agree with that as well, man. I would say if they're gone in their entirety, at some point, that's better than never getting rid of them. Absolutely. Like, I don't think anybody would say that as well. Scott says hangover. No, man, genuinely been really, really ill. Thankfully, managed to get to work from home this week as well. So that was beneficial for us, of course. Trying to get over stuff. Jarl is down there as well. Been a United fan since 92. Sometimes it's better to walk away. Look, I'm not walking away from this club because I love this club. I love this team. But man, they make it so hard to be a Manchester United fan sometimes. They make it so difficult to want to support this team or to at least have the connection that we once felt. And it's so disappointing. It really is. I'm gonna take a quick drink there as well. Gonna try power through this. So where does this leave us as a fan base? Where does this leave us as a club? What is the direction now that Manchester United find themselves going in? That's going to be the question. Um, I don't know. I feel it's a very um unclear time to be a Manchester United fan. It's very unclear as to what's going to happen over the next 2 to 3 years. What will happen? Because what happens if Radcliffe buys in with the view to buy over the Glazer shares, become the majority owner? What happens then if he doesn't think the club's worth the amount that the Glazers are asking? Then what happens as well? Big T says, if you're going to walk away because of the Glazers, time for that was 18 years ago. Yep, look, I would agree with that as well. Of course, that was FC United of Manchester. A lot of fans did do that at the time. And yeah, look, they were probably right to do so as well, on their opinion. People didn't want to listen to them at the start, but this is where we found ourselves. And I think it comes down to great guys. It really does. And look, I think there's a lot of problems with Qatari ownership. I really do. I think, do we need to be associated with a nation state? Do we need that type of ownership at this club in order to be successful? I don't think we do. I don't think Manchester United need the billions of the Qataris as much as we need good ownership. I think it's a hard pill to swallow. I think a lot of people will be upset over this, and they will be for a long time. But a lot of people thought that if Qatar came in, it would genuinely be Manchester United back to where we were 20 years ago, dominating the league, winning the league pretty much every season or every other season if there was a strong challenger. I think those days in football in the Premier League are gone. I think the level of competition has gone up to the extent. She goes, let's be honest, we all wanted Qatar. They would have been good owners. I think it would have been better for the club and better for what we wanted, because we don't want the Glazers either. Big T says big account does not equal good owners. Absolutely not. And it's the exact same with Todd Bowley. That guy spent £1 billion in 12 months at Chelsea. They're not a good team for it. PSG have spent billions trying to win the Champions League. They've never been able to do it. I think the big issue that I have is the Glazer family, regardless, will now be staying at Manchester United unless somebody else comes in. And then how long is that going to take for this round of a takeover as well to go through? We are 12 months into this process. This started 12 months ago. We wanted this done in March. We wanted this done in April, in May, in June, July, August, September, and now we're in October, and the Qataris have pulled out. I always thought, and I always said on this channel, that it would take one of the bidders pulling out for this takeover to be resolved. And it looks like it is now going to be the Qataris. He also got down in the comments down below. Ronnie's down there. Have to be true. At best, we will just be sixth best club for the next coming years with the Glazers as owners. Jarl says, I read Jim is buying 25% of the Glazer shares, but also buying 25% of minority shares. He will end up owning 30 to 35%. Yeah, look, that's an interesting one as well. We don't know a lot about Ratcliffe's bid. If he buys 25% of Glazer shares and then buys up 25% of the other shares, he's probably then going to be the majority shareholder, not majority owner, but majority shareholder. And I think that's maybe worth something. But I don't know, guys. I really don't. I cannot say for sure if Radcliffe invests £1.5 billion, where's it going to end up? Does it go to the club? Does it go to the stadium? Does it go to the training facilities? Or does it go to Joel and Avram's new yacht, to their new 50-bed mansion, to their new fleet of Ferraris? Where does it go? That's my question as well. If comments are flying in as well, Piero is saying, I'm from Indonesia, very, very, very angry and very disappointed. Yeah, look, I feel disappointed. I feel angry with this as well. Stephanie's down there. Good to see you. Big T says, anyone talking about how good Nice are doing lately? No, they're not. And look, there's a lot of people pointing fingers at the Qatari ownership, of Radcliffe's ownership of Nice, saying, yeah, look, this is a big problem here. This is really badly run. They've had a better season this year for sure. Thanks for hopping on in there as well, guys. Luman, what have you said as well, man? Do you believe the Glazers had any real intention to sell, or in the first place, or was it a diverting strategy? It definitely was intended to sell. Make no mistake about it. We wouldn't be sitting here in that case if that was the scenario. The thing is, what we can say with the Glazer ownership and what they've wanted, they initially sold up because the Super League was failing, the profits were falling. I think they're looking around at the global landscape, at the money coming in from Saudi Arabia, the increase in TV deals, the bigger Champions League. And I think they can get more money. That's what it's all about. It's coming down to money at the end of the day, guys. It really, really is. Let me see. Daz is down there as well. Good to see you. Jinwei is saying, I don't think for a minute they want the club. They could be playing mind games here. Are the other shareholders going to sue? That's a good question. That was something that was brought up previously with the Radcliffe bid, but he seems to have went away and worked on that, so we're going to have to find out. Michael is down there. We're doomed. Relegation is closer than we think. Honestly, it might take relegation to get Manchester United away from the Glazer family. It genuinely might at this point, guys. let's see, Chris is down there. At least United will be playing fewer games for the next year, unless finishing in the bottom half qualifies you for Europe. And I don't think Jim's deal will be accepted either, and they will put it up for sale in 2025. Look, I'm going to go back to Big T's comment. I think it was a good point raised. I think any ownership is probably better than the Glazer ownership. I don't think it could be worse. If Jim Ratcliffe manages to buy Manchester United with this staggered approach and becomes majority shareholder and owns the club, I think that's a better place to be than in the hands of the late Glazer family. Do I think that the Qatari bid was out its fault? Absolutely not. There was massive issues with that bid, and there was a whole other can of worms we would be opening as a fan base, as a club, and we don't want that either. But I think the key thing is a lot of Manchester United fans, myself included, will feel betrayed at this moment in time because we've wanted the Glazer family removed from this club for the last 20 years, last 18, 19 years, basically, and we still haven't got there. And does the Radcliffe bid keep them in forever? Probably not. But I think we wanted a brand new start. I think we wanted a brand new beginning. And I think even gauging by the reaction of the fan base at this moment in time, it's not good. It's really, really not good as well. Let me see. JR is saying overwhelmingly disappointed. One thing I can guarantee, of course, is the Glazers will not be taking any money out with a co-owner. Hopefully not. Hopefully that could be restricted as well. Jim could come in now for 25% with the view to buy the rest in 2025 when the club is put up for sale, says Big T. That could happen. Or we could see Ratcliffe buy 25% year on year. So next year he'll buy 25% and own 50%. And then by 2025 he would own 75%. I don't know. I think that it's very interesting, and it's going to be interesting to watch this all unfold. Drop a like on the video as well, guys. We're up to 18 likes as well. Thank you very much for that. My problem is, and what I would like to ask you guys is, if we do see Jim Ratcliffe come in as the owner of Manchester United, and we then have the Glazer family holding out for more and more money, will there ever come a point where Ratcliffe abandons the notion of majority ownership? Because he's already gone from full ownership to majority, to minority. So where does that trend end either? That's my question as well for you guys. Hey, also we got down below in the comments, Stephen is down there, 52 years supporting this club, but I'm done. I'm never going back to Old Trafford. Scott says, the best thing happened recently is Højlund in 2 seasons away from possibly being the next Harry Kane. Let me see. Hot Fuzz is down there as well. For me, mate, it's game over. Yeah, look, it's starting to feel that way, guys. It is. It's starting to feel like we're going to be stuck in this abyss, this swamp, this bad place for the foreseeable future. It does, and it's disappointing. I think a lot of people just wanted a clean break more than anything as well. I think genuinely, if Radcliffe was offering 100% of the club, we wouldn't be too annoyed right now. I feel like it's the nature of his bid. It's keeping the Glazers on. I think that's the big problem. He also got down below saying Jim will be 80. Yeah, Jim is also getting older as well. That's a very, very valid point as well to raise. Stephen says, congratulations to Sir Jim. He is single-handed. Yeah, looks like he's got to win as well. The man, I blame the Qataris for not being smart and intelligent buyers. They were too slow and showed patience all the time, and aggressive, demanding behavior was needed here. Yeah, look, I think we can question the way the Qataris went about the bid. Absolutely, we can. I don't think it was perfect from then. I think a lot of their offers were not good enough. I think if they went in early with the bid they just made for the club, then I think we probably would be sold already. That's my opinion on that one for sure. He also got down below, Jinwa says we're not over yet. Look, we're not. And Big T says, easier to buy a business once your foot is in the door. I think it's clever from Jim. And Carpi is down there, Europa League mid-table now. I hope the Glazers are shifting. How the hell can they reject 5.8 billion plus $1 billion to clear the debt? And Paddy says United are finished. Yeah, look, genuinely, I feel like it's bad business from the Glazers. And Anyone who's done finance or business or economics will know that money today is worth more than money in the future. Even if they sign up to a deal to eventually get 6 billion from Radcliffe, that's not going to be worth as much in 3 or 4 years' time, whenever that money would be paid. The smartest thing would be to take the money now, take the cash offer. That's why people go in when they're buying houses. The cash offer, even if it is slightly less than what a staggered offer could be, it typically goes to cash buyers because it's money up front. That's a big thing there as well. Um, Stephanie says every day is Halloween. Being a United supporter, 18 years and counting. Yeah, look, it's one of those, Stephanie. We haven't kicked a ball in a week, and we won't kick a ball for another week. And still, we're feeling annoyed by this football club. Brian is down there. The only way is empty Old Trafford and getting games cancelled. I don't know if that's going to make too much of a difference. I really don't, because the big thing is if season ticket holders and fans don't take up their own seats, what happens is the Glazer family and the club just go on and sell them. They sell them to other people. We've seen this at Galatasaray. They sold 2,000 seats from home supporters to Galatasaray fans for around £400 per ticket. Like, they're going to make more money by doing that anyway. They really are as well. Daz, every offer was overinflated. Absolutely. This bid by the Qataris was over 2 times the market value of the club, plus the debt, plus the investment. You know, that's crazy as well. Qatar have the money to pay what the Glazers want, and questioning did they really want the club, says Big T. Yeah, look, that's a good question as well. I think they do. I think it's probably more down to Sheikh Jassim. I think if we look at the statement made by his father throughout this takeover saga, a lot of the time he was backing his son, but he didn't seem to have a lot of interest himself. Obviously, there was money lost by Sheikh Jassim when Credit Suisse went bust. That might be heading into the coffers as well. But I think he definitely could have done a better offer as well. I really do. Jarl says, I've asked the question as well. Ronnie says, old mod 1980 songs by Secret, Time for Action. Yeah, look, Secret Fair, of course. Um, Stephanie says, will Sheikh Jassim buy another Premier League club? And if so, who? There was rumours of Inter Milan, Stephanie, as well. We did see that one. Maybe that's what he chooses to go down their route and move into Italy. Maybe that could be his plan. Jarl says it's going to be interesting on Monday to see the shares crash to nothing. Absolutely, that will be coming as well. And that's probably a good thing for Ratcliffe, because if he offers 1.5 billion, that's going to be more shares for him, at least off the public stock exchange. Probably not going to affect the Glazer shares too much, but if he wants to buy up on Monday, he can definitely do that as well. Carpy says, it's going to be the total package buying the club, debt, stadium, and investment is almost 10 billion. And Big T says if Qatar bought the club, they would be seen as heroes to most, not mugs. And Yuda is down there, Glazers out. Daz says cannot support anymore. I'll watch and have interest, but no more support. I know a lot of people feel that they're emotionally done with the club at this time. I would always say that it's not down to the actual club, and I'm positive that people within the club want the Glazers gone as much as we do. I think the problem, of course, is the Glazer family have always had a thick skin. They've always had this mentality that they can wait out any storm, that public opinion does not affect them, that it doesn't matter to them. So I wouldn't read too much into that one as well. Lucky is down there. Sheikh Jassim pulls out. Yeah, it's unfortunate, Lucky, because whilst we can all have questions about the Qataris, I think the big thing that they wanted to do, and removing the debt and removing the ownership of the Glazer family, that is the big one that United fans have wanted for a very, very long time. Look, there's an update coming in from the Muppeteers as well, and I think it's important, and that is true, and that is, of course. And look, it's a bitter pill for some people to swallow, but they're saying don't reject information just because they do not like it. I feel like a lot of people in the fan base and online have been wanting the Qatari ownership so badly that anything pro Radcliffe has been dismissed as PR. I think this has been coming for a while. I think it's been coming for a long time. I'm surprised they made another bid. I'm surprised that bid was rejected, because it was a good bid as well. Who else have we got in the comments are flying in? Carpy says, I hope the Glazers are shitting themselves, thinking they've lost all that money and getting nothing now. Yeah, look, I'm sure within the Glazer family there will be divides over this as well. We know Joel and Avram have always been keen on staying, or at least holding out a little bit longer. We know that the other Glazer family members, the likes of Brian and Edward and Darcy, they've wanted to sell the shares. What's going to happen now? Will it be the case that those are the shares that Radcliffe is going to buy up? He's going to buy up their shares. We're going to have to find out on that one for sure. I think it's an interesting time. I think this takeover saga has been long and drawn out. We've wanted this gone for a long, long time as well. Um, Let me see. Leman saying Sheikh Jassim pulled out because Lucky Singh went to Old Trafford. Jarl is saying it's been an interesting 6 months with this takeover saga, but I feel like the weight has been lifted off my shoulders now. Yeah, look, it's relief. At least we know what's happening now. At least we know what's gonna go down, and we can process it. We can hope for the best. Let's find out what's going to happen to this Radcliffe bid. Let's find out what happens as well. Ronnie says it's on Sky Sports News now as well. Yeah, of course. I was slightly late on this as well. Wasn't expecting it to blow up as quickly as it did, but I was frantically trying to get this stream up and running. So at least we're ahead of Sky Sports. I will give myself that one. Big T says if Radcliffe buys all the public shares, there will be nobody to sue him. Look, that's a good point, Big T as well, man. That maybe that is part of his thinking, but I think his initial thing has to be getting voting control, and the only way to do that is to buy up the Glazer family shares. That's what he has to do, because it'd be one thing if Radcliffe bought up the public shares, because there's big investment companies already invested in us. I think Ariel might be one of them. I think possibly the Apollo crowd holds some shares as well, but they don't have voting power. I think if Radcliffe's coming in, he's got to get that voting power and has to get some measure of control. And the first thing he should be doing is stopping money going out of the club. The second thing he should be doing is reorganizing the club as best as he can with whatever power he might have. And that has to be towards paying the debt. That has to be towards raising money to pay off that debt and freeing United from the shackles of the debt we've been in for the last 20 years. That has to be done as well. Carpy said Jim passed away. What would the Glazers get? Nothing. I mean, if he passes away before a deal's done, yeah, look, that's one thing. We're going to find out. I'm not 100% sure what happens with public stocks and stuff if someone passes away. Now, it depends. If it's INEOS actually buying up the shares instead of Radcliffe personally, which I believe is the case, then it would fall into their ownership as well. Let's see. Big T says, we all dream about winning the lottery, but for most, it never happens. I liken it to that. Yeah, look, that's a good point as well. Daz reckons Ten Hag might want to get out. I mean, working for the Glazer family has always been an impossible job as well. It really has. Big ups, guys, on the 27 likes as well, guys. Can we get up to 30? Lucky Singh says, of course, United falling down the table. We need a new stadium. The debt will not go down. Yep, that's another big concern as well, Lucky. I think the debt's one of the big ones that we want to see taken care of immediately. We want to see that situation resolved. Jarl is saying, I see the Glazers say yes to Jim now, and if he says yes, it's all about CEO and director of football. If his people get to take over the club. Stephanie says fracking hell United, and Lucky says where there's debt, there is no new stadium. All very good points, guys. All very, very good points. And yeah, look, I think what we need to see is if Radcliffe can come in and have some measure of control over the club, stop the money coming out, try to get some of the debt paid down, whatever means necessary, I think that's probably a good thing for us. I think getting people and the club running better is a big thing for us. And look, this is Manchester United we're talking about. This is one of the biggest sporting brands in the world. Any sport, regardless. One of the biggest single entities in any realm of sport. The money this club makes is obscene. We do not need necessarily a Qatari or any kind of sugar daddy to come in with billions of pounds to put into the players and put into a stadium and put into transfers. Look, it helps. It helps. Absolutely. It would help, but this club earns enough that we can run without that. What we need, genuinely, is to be run as a football club, because we haven't been run as that either, and that's one of the big concerns. If Radcliffe comes in, lets this club be a football organisation, not run for profit, but run for genuinely trying to win trophies, then we're going to be better off for it. Big T down below is saying, don't worry too much about Ten Hag. Rooney's back in England and he will save us. We'll find out what happens with the Rooney situation. That's an interesting one for sure. Let's see. Luman says, I want the takeover of United Philosophy. I offer you 60k. If you want 60k, man, you can have it. No problem. If you want me to work for you as well, don't worry, I'll do that. But yeah, guys, look, the nightmare scenario in this case is that we end up with a vulture fund, that we end up with an investment fund buying it. At this point in time, as hard as it is for some people to accept, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the best option for this football club. He genuinely is. If the Qataris are out, I don't see any other bidders coming in. Then it has to be Sir Jim or nothing. We cannot afford Apollo Capital coming in. We cannot afford Berkshire Hathaway coming in. We cannot afford BlackRock coming in. We cannot afford any minority investment who are going to come in, give the Glazers money to buy up some shares and continue to strip the club dry. We cannot afford for that to happen under any circumstances. So Radcliffe might be our best bet at this point in time. And for a lot of people, that's going to be hard to accept, because a lot of people throughout the entire sales process have not wanted Jim Radcliffe's ownership of this club. But if that is the only way that we avoid, number one, the Glazer family staying full time, number two, big investment banks coming in trying to take a quick buck out of this club, then that's what we got to do as well. It's not a good situation. It's not what a lot of people want. It's not where we want to be, but it might be the only thing we can do. And it's disappointing, but that might be all we have. So if it's going to be Radcliffe, let's hope for the best. That's genuinely the conclusion that I'm reaching at after 32 minutes of rambling on here as well. Big T says Sir Jim could buy public shares himself, and INEOS buys shares from the Glazer family. Yeah, look, that's a possibility. We'll find out what's going to happen there. It will be interesting. Make no mistake about it. But I think Radcliffe's got to run this place as a club if it is him. As I said, the worst case scenario is that the Glazer family get given a lot of money in return for more money coming out of the club, which hopefully they won't take. Hopefully they won't take. But we can never know with these guys either. We really don't. Because an investment fund could turn up with £1 billion for 0% of the ownership and just want a return on the money they've invested to the Glazers directly as a loan or anything like that. That is genuine cause for concern. If that happens, the best thing that could happen to Manchester United would be getting relegated, because that might be the only thing that gets those guys out of the football club. I genuinely think nothing is too far beyond what the Glazers will do. I think they could even go as far as what Leeds United went, where they sold Elland Road. That is still a possibility with this ownership. They could sell the land that Old Trafford's on and sign a lease for it. And that's genuinely what they could do. So, yes, Radcliffe might not be our preferred owner. Yes, Radcliffe's method of buying the club might not be preferred. But if it's coming down to that, or it's coming down to an investment fund coming in with that money, that's something we got to avoid under every circumstance imaginable. Absolutely. Liman says, I believe the Glazers were not bad owners, just so that they did not know how to run the club. I believe Ratcliffe will run the club better than Sheikh Jassim, as he knows the British way of running a club. I don't know if it comes down too much to the British way. I just hope that his own experience in owning football clubs can come back to help him. Let's hope that that can do something. Stephanie says January transfer window will be interesting. Sell to buy. Yep, more sell to buy. That's where we're going to find ourselves as well. Kelvin is saying let's boycott everything under the Glazer family. I think we're trying our best, but the problem is, even for merchandise and stuff, that's minimal compared to the money they get from the Premier League, from the Champions League. That TV money, the sponsorship on the shirt, that is worth more than Manchester United fans buying a ticket, buying a beer and a puck of pie in Old Trafford. That is more money than what that's ever going to be worth. Big T says it's the English Premier League. English owners should be encouraged. There is a lack of English owners in the league. That it is an interesting point as well. Jarl says INEOS does earn about 2.6 billion per year. They could delete the debt if they really wanted to. My worry is that they might take out a loan to clear the debt, and then does that just put us back to square one? On one hand, yes, that would be an INEOS debt and not a Manchester United debt. But on the other hand, that means that we might find ourselves indebted into a for-profit company. So are they going to take money out once Manchester United's fortunes turn around? Does that leave us in a better position? Look, guys, there's a lot of ifs, but maybes. What could happen, what might happen, what shouldn't happen, what we need to avoid, what we should encourage. I think now is the time for a fan base to come together. And I think now is the time for the club um, to hopefully have that stability and a clear path into the future. I think whilst a lot of people will feel disappointed by what's happened, I think what we can say is at least we know what's going to happen now. And maybe this comes to an end. Hopefully, the sooner the better. Who else have we got in the comments? Dad says, when we got another American shirt sponsorship, it was a sure sign. Chat Sport says, Manchester United make that much money. It doesn't matter what happens on the pitch. Yeah, look, to some extent it does, because yes, we get the TV money from being in the Premier League, but not being Champions League hits the coffers. You know, that's a big one for the Glazer family. Maestro says, here's my problem with Sir Jim. How is he going to pay the rest of the money? We know already. It was talked about at the start of the year. You know, it really was talked that Manchester United would be being bought by Radcliffe, and it would be him taking loans from the likes of Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, the big investment banks of America, and they seem to be on side with Radcliffe ownership. Um, Stephanie says, pull neck and neck between anger and disappointment. I actually haven't checked it as well. Anger, very little people glad, very little people don't care. Here else we got down below. Jarl says, does INEOS take money out of other clubs and sporting teams they own? It's hard to know. The thing is, a lot of this is disclosed as well because Manchester United are a public company, so that's sort of out there as well. You know, that's on the spreadsheets. We don't really get to see it as much for the likes of Nice, etc. So freshness down there was always going to happen. Sheikh Jassim will know that by taking himself out of the race, any possible bidding war has expired, so he might get sold a solid price out of it. Big T says, if Qatar are really out, we need to get behind Jim. The alternative is the Glazers, and nobody wants that. Absolutely. Liman says, where would the PLGE be if all the club's owners were English? I don't know where the Premier League would be. It mightn't be as big. It might be bigger. It's a lot of ifs and buts and maybes. There wouldn't be the money in it for sure. There definitely wouldn't be that. Big T says maybe Qatar will buy Spurs and repair the damaged stadium. I think they might go for Inter Milan. That seems to be something that is being talked about at the minute. Look, if they want to buy into football, Manchester United would have been the golden goose. John is down there as well. Good to see you, John, saying the 58 as well. Some saying the Sheikh will buy Inter. Yes, I had seen that as well. I did see that mentioned as well. Very interesting news coming in as well, guys. Let me put this into the comments. In the last minutes, we can confirm this, and this is coming in from Times Sport, and that is breaking news. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is set to complete a deal for a 25% stake in Manchester United. That is in the last minute as well, guys. It's what we expected. It's what we thought, and now we have the confirmation coming in. It does look like Sir Jim will be buying into Manchester United. Coming in from Mike Keegan as well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe deal 25% of United viewed as the first step in a gradual takeover set to be ratified at a board meeting in the coming week. So that's it, guys. Big T says the league was awesome when it was majority English-owned clubs. I mean, yeah, look, it's definitely killed a lot of it is the money coming into the club. It really is. But Radcliffe has the deal agreed. and that's big. INEOS have won the race for Manchester United. That will see them acquire an initial stake with further steps for a full takeover. There is your confirmation, guys, as well. We're up to 32 likes on the video, so thanks very much for that one, guys. And if you guys are new, please consider hitting that sub button, guys. YouTube haven't been too kind to the channel in the last month or so. They've deleted like over 100 subscribers that we've gained, so we're pretty much about in the same position we were a month ago. So yeah, that's a frustration, of course. But guys, drop a sub if you guys are new and you want to join in with the community on the channel, guys. Stephanie down there, on a lighter note, perhaps we can merge Radcliffe's other bids and call ourselves Nice United Chelsea. John says useless, paying 25% more money to Glazers. Jarl says when Bloomberg speaks, I listen. Jordy is down there as well. Feel for you guys won't be getting the taste of the Arab money, but the Glazers are annoying and greedy. Absolutely, they are. Big T says we should hear from Jim soon. If he says he'll sort the stadium out to start with, I will be happy for now. And Maestro says, what happens to Nice? Does Jim need to sell? We're going to find out. We are going to find out. Make no mistake about that as well, guys. And it's going to be an interesting time. And we're going to be doing a lot more of these takeover streams because finally we're getting the actual takeover. It's not just rumor, conjecture, different people saying different stuff. Everyone is unanimous at this moment in time. Let's see who else we got down below. Lucky is saying Radcliffe says Avram 2 years ago relegation from the Premier League. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure you get them in down below. Let me check the poll because there's 138 votes on it as well. 46% are angry at this moment in time. 38% feel disappointed. 9% going for the don't care, and 7% going for glad. But Jim Radcliffe has won the race, guys. Radcliffe is going to be the ownership, and this is the first step in the full takeover, apparently. If it is, then it's a good thing. I guess it's like I said only a couple of minutes ago. If it was an investment bank or an investment group, some big capital firm looking a lot of equity and a lot of money out of this, that could be so disappointing. John says maybe the Sheikh will buy Nice. Stephanie says the 7th Glazer is now in control. That's probably true as well. Let me just quickly change this as well, just for anybody coming in. I'm going to quickly change over the title as well. There we are, just because we have that new news to react to as well. Hot Fuzz, good to see you as well. Back in here, man. 25% means the Glazers get everything they want. And what about David Beckham, says Leman? It seemed to be a last minute pressure, Leman. That was something that was talked about. I think it's an interesting timing. If we actually look at the two timelines for the actual Manchester United, sorry, this bid going in the last couple of days, and Beckham becoming very vocal, I feel like it was a last push by the Qataris to try get that done and over the line. Big T says Jim will be a fan on the inside of the club. We've been crying out for fan participation. We're going to get it. Let's find out. Let's find out what happens now. It's an interesting time to be a Manchester United fan. It's an interesting time to be covering this live and direct with you guys. And look, we're going to be live plenty over the next couple of months and stuff as well. Thankfully as well, because I do work in finance and business and all that there, hopefully I can bring something of an informed perspective as well, maybe more than we would get on some of the other channels that do cover this stuff. So hopefully I can bring some of that stuff as well for you guys. Because look, this will be a big process regardless. If it's 25%, I was just working on a project and work for a 5 billion buyover at a bank. So it's a long process. It will take a while. Don't expect anything to be done within the next 3 months. Is probably still will be going on because there's public ownership and a lot of public stock as well. That is something we need to watch out for. Dobby is down there. Anyone who's happy with the news must be deluded. Sir Jim does not have a clue. Just for the fame and PR, this is the end of the club. Do not expect to win anything again. And Lucky says fans do not bother going to game now. Look, the fans will still go to the game regardless. The time to leave Manchester United as a fan would have been 18 years ago. But Sir Jim Radcliffe, for anyone joining in with us, and I can see people hopping into the stream, Sir Jim Radcliffe has won the takeover race. 25% of Manchester United. It's viewed as the first step into the full ownership of INEOS and Jim Radcliffe at Manchester United. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Time will find out. Time will tell. And that's all we can really say for now. But I'm going to try to give you guys as much of a perspective as I can, as much of my knowledge as I can, and we're going to cover every little detail on the channel. So much content going to be coming up about this. Make sure you guys are hitting that sub button as well. Would really appreciate it. If we can get to 20 subs tonight, we need 3 more. So if 3 people want to hit that sub button, would really make my night as well. And hopefully the Ireland rugby team are going to make my night in about 15 minutes time by beating New Zealand. Hopefully. Not going to jinx as well. Big T supports the badge and not the owners. Absolutely, I would agree with that as well, man. Support the team, support the club. Don't support the business. I've been saying that for a long time. There's a big difference between the history of this badge, between the players on that pitch, the fans in that crowd, and the public limited company floated on the stock exchange, owned by the Glazer family. There's a big difference. You can support one without supporting the other. Absolutely, you can. Um, Stephanie sent 36 likes. Yes, guys, can we get up to 40 likes? Would be really appreciated if we can get up there as well. Did Qatar pull out on time before being embarrassed, says Leman. I think that's why we're seeing the Ratcliffe news come out now. I think that's why we're seeing it. Look, it was always going to take one of the 2 bidders to pull out. And I've been saying that for a very long time. I've always felt that it would take one of them pulling out, and then the Glazer family game is done. And it's still continuing. They're going to get a lot of money for this, guys. They're going to make a lot of money, and they're going to make more money in the future. So they're getting what they wanted. It does feel like the Glazer family have won at Manchester United. They have won this takeover. They're the big winners in this. Not Radcliffe, not the Qataris, not the fans, but the Glazer family. So look, that's a frustration as well, guys. Make sure you guys are dropping a like on the video as well. I think we're getting really close to 40 likes as well, up to 38. There's a video out as well. I literally dropped it like an hour ago. It's probably got lost in the shuffle of all the Manchester United stuff dropping tonight. So if you guys want to check that out afterwards as well, it's just a quick look at some of the main things we have learned this season at Manchester United. And I want to go into more detail as well. Thankfully now I'm feeling better and I'm over the flu, over the sinus infection as well. So gonna try and make some more content coming up this week, more lives, some more short videos and some longer videos as well. Want to bring lots of stuff to you guys, of course. Can we get 2 more likes on the video and what? 3 more subs? If we can do that, like, that could be a really good night for myself personally. Would really appreciate the support, guys. Lucky is down there. Stephanie goes, sorry, where do we go as fans? Will this affect the team? And the man says, now the fans are doing a U-turn on Sheikh Jassim and supporting Jim Radcliffe. Look, this is what I will say, and this is what I'll absolutely say on that one, Liman. People are never going to be happy with Jim Radcliffe. A lot of people wanted Qatari ownership, and they're not going to support it under any circumstance. Personally, for me, I wanted the Glazer family gone. I've said that from day one. That was my main objective going into this takeover. That was the biggest single thing that I wanted. And it's unfortunate that they're not going completely. If this turns out to be the first step in an eventual takeover, which takes the Glazer family out of Manchester United and puts sporting people in charge, who put sporting decisions and winning on the pitch ahead of profits, ahead of merchandise, TV deals, I think that's a good thing. But we're going to find out. Look, make no mistake about it, this is better than 2 things. Regardless of how badly you wanted the Qataris to win this takeover race, this is better than 2 things. Number 1, the Glazer family staying and not selling at all. Number 2, and a minority investment coming in from somebody who is not interested in the team's performance, who just want to take more money out of this club. So it's better than those 2. For on the pitch stuff, would it be better than a potential Qatari takeover? We don't know that either as well. Stephanie, thanks very much as well. Saying great show and content. Really appreciate it, guys. Try my best as well. But yes, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is set to hold shares in Manchester United in just a few days' time. It's not ideal. It's not ideal, but we're gonna find out what's gonna happen. We're gonna find out what's gonna happen, and look, it's gonna be an interesting one. It really, really is, and something I would like to find out, and I don't think we ever will. Certainly not at this time. Is the minority investment from Radcliffe, the 25%, is that because he isn't able to fund a full takeover, or is that because the Glazer family have always been reluctant sellers? Lucky says 2 years, we will be together as fans. I think we got to be together as fans and hope for the best in this scenario. And look, there's nothing stopping the Qataris or anybody else going in with a bid later down the line. If Radcliffe takes over in its entirety, maybe he will be a more willing seller when the time comes for him to move on and for INEOS to move on. Maybe that could be happening. Maybe that is where we eventually go. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting time. This is unprecedented for Manchester United. This is, look, this is history in the making right now. And this has been a long, long time in the making. And we're going to find out where this road is going to lead us down. It might be better. It might be worse. It might be the same. It might be the worst thing to ever happen to Manchester United. It might be the best thing to ever happen to Manchester United. Or it might be somewhere in between. We don't know at this time. Am I going to give Sir Jim Ratcliffe the benefit of the doubt? Am I going to give him my support? I don't know. I think I support managers. I think I support the players. I don't know if I support the ownership. I don't think I ever will or ever really could. Jarl is saying hate being right. I really, really hate being right as well. Yeah, look, it's one of those ones, guys. There's not a lot we can do at this moment in time. All we can do is sit back, find out what happened, support the team on the pitch, hope for the best from the performances. There's not a lot we can really do as a fan base as well. But guys, really, really big night for Manchester United. This is as big as it has been for a long, long time. This Jarl says United have a better crush Sheffield in a week. Hoyland about to play. Yeah, look, Hoyland's gonna be a good one. We'll be watching the highlights on his match later on tonight, of course. What I'm going to be watching in around about 7 minutes will be Ireland taking on New Zealand Rugby World Cup quarterfinal. That's what it's all about. So hopefully the Irish are going to do myself proud and get the win tonight. That has to be the big hope there. But for anybody just joining in, number one, Sheikh Jassim is out of the bid, and number two, Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be buying into Manchester United. He has won the takeover race. It is done. It is ready. And we're going to find out where this road is going to lead us down. Jarl is saying Hoyland in the starting lineup as well. Yeah, as well. I saw that one, guys. And we're up to 39 likes, guys. Can we get one more like? Can we get across the 40 mark? Would be really, really appreciated if we could do that as well. Let's see. Lucky says as well. We need the good times to come back is what we need as a fan base. Yeah, we do. I don't know if the good times would ever come back under Glazer ownership. I really don't know. I really can't say. But it's gonna be an interesting one. Jim has been confirmed, says Daz. Yes, Jim is confirmed. I'm waiting to see if anything's come out from the club. I would be surprised if there is a statement by Manchester United themselves. We're going to find out. Maybe we get Beto for free in January. Maybe that could be something that could happen. I don't know. But yeah, look, Radcliffe, he is confirmed pretty much by the media. Everybody coming out at once. It's interesting timing. We're going to find out what happens. I guess in terms of the overall season, it's maybe a good thing that we have this. At least we know what's going to happen. The uncertainty is gone. And it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks and months leading into an interesting couple of years. Let's hope if Radcliffe does come in, which it looks very likely, that he eventually buys over all of the club and we get the Glazers out, because that's the most important thing we need as a fan base, that we have wanted as a fan base for the longest time. So it's so important that we do that. Hopefully we can. Hopefully that's what happens. and maybe this is a first step towards it. We're gonna find out. Dad says Ineos have more than enough money. Let's wait and see. Man Utd is down there as well. Good to see you, man. Hope all is good. Thanks for hopping on in here as well. Much appreciated. And yeah, guys, can we get up to the 40 likes? We've actually just got 40 likes as well. Thank you very much for that one. Really, really appreciate all the support on tonight's video as well, guys. Um, so yeah, guys, video dropped today as well. Check it out now as well, because we're gonna leave the stream just about here. So thanks so much for joining in with me. It's been a crazy night, very unexpected. I'm surprised my voice held up throughout tonight's show. So really do appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for the 41 likes. For the 7 new people who have subscribed on tonight's stream as well. Really appreciate all that support. And check out the video as well, guys. Literally posted like 45 minutes before the show went live. So yeah, it's probably been lost in the shuffle, but it is what it is. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one.